Welcome back, guys, for another video today. Another late one, though. What can I say, man? Just been in the mood to make videos today, and I've had the time today to make extra videos. So here we are. And I saw this just happen, like a few hours ago, actually. The ADL calling out Hasan. And not just calling out Hasan, but calling on platforms to take action against Hasan. Now, that might sound slightly familiar because back in November, they made a series of very brief tweets, which we can see right here. However, the ones from today sound much more grave for Hasan. And we'll get to that in just a second, but quick refresher here. November 15th, they said 1 out of 3. In the time of dangerously escalating anti-Semitism, we commend at Twitch for changing their policy regarding the use of Zionist as a slur and proxy for hate against Jews. We are glad Twitch acted on our recommendation to make this change. However, policy is only as strong as enforcement, and we will be vigilant and appropriately skeptical about Twitch's enforcement of this new policy. When one of the largest streamers on Twitch, Hasan Piker, spends the hours after the Amsterdam pogrom minimizing its harm without consequence, it's clear the platform still has far to go. Now compare what they said back then on November to these tweets made just 2 hours ago today on May 30th, 2025, where they say, 1. When you openly support a murderous anti-Semitic U.S. designated terrorist organization, calling for violence against all Jews, you minimize our fear and grief and embolden extremists. It's time for all public figures and news outlets to call out this support for terror and cease praising and platforming Piker. 2. Now is the time for Twitch, YouTube, and X, and all other social media platforms to decide if their platforms are spaces that allow for someone like Piker to spew hatred and pro-terrorist propaganda. The time to act is now. You can only imagine the reaction that Frogan will have reading these tweets, but let's take a look at what Gabby Dooch said here that got the ADL to respond. Hasan Piker is now saying the quiet part out loud that Hamas is good, actually. The streamer has 2.9 million followers on Twitch and major profiles in New York Times, CNN, NBC, Vox, Rolling Stone, et al., and seeking his wisdom on how Dems should reach young people. Is this how? He says there's no comparison between Israel and Hamas. One is a militant resistance comprised of orphaned soldiers born into a 77-year occupation. The other is a ethno-religious supremacist apartheid state with nukes doing a genocide backed by the USA. So yeah, that's the context of what the ADL was responding to right there. And unlike last time, as mentioned, they're actually calling on platforms to just take action against Hasan. We'll see what actually happens, of course. As previously discussed, it does seem like Twitch is doing everything they can. People in positions of power at Twitch, that being managerial positions, policymaking positions, executives at Twitch, those sort of positions, that they're doing whatever they can to protect Hasan, but things continue to get worse. And obviously, they're protecting Hasan because they seem, at least in my opinion, to agree ideologically with Hasan, and they're terrified of what might happen if Hasan is not their top streamer, or, you know, like if he's not a top streamer there. They want his rhetoric pushed out to people. They want to do everything they can to keep him there. And so we will see how this all plays out. As always, thank you for tuning in. Let me know what you think about this stuff in the comments. Appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one.